Welcome to Hello Talk English Pod.
Welcome to Hello Talk English Pod.
Hi, welcome to today's lesson. I'm Clem.
Hey, I'm Yumi.
Today we're going to be looking at a dialogue between Ting and her mentor Na, where they're talking about the requirements for an international student applying to graduate school.
Let's have a listen to the dialogue. It says I need to include my GRE scores on the application. What's the GRE?
The GRE is an admission test that American graduate schools use to evaluate applicants.
Oh no, not another exam.
Don't be discouraged. You can do this. You can even borrow my old test prep books.
Thanks. Oh look, it says I need to submit an essay with my application.
Yeah, essay topics can vary by schools, but usually universities want to learn more about you as a person and your reasons for wanting to attend their school.
Okay, I can easily do that.
And don't forget about your letters of recommendation.
What do I need to do that for?
Well, first you need to think of a few people who can say positive things about you and reasons why you'd be a good student for graduate school.
Okay, like my professors?
Yeah. So when the time comes to submit your online application, you can ask these people if they'd be willing to write a letter of recommendation.
Wow, I sure have a lot to do if I want to apply to graduate school.
True, but it'll give you a sense of the study load at the graduate school level.
To start out, Ting asks, it says I need to include my GRE scores on the application. So the acronym GRE, it stands for Graduate Record Examination.
And in the dialogue, they actually describe what the GRE is. Na says the GRE is a standard test that American graduate schools use to evaluate applicants. Now, it starts off by saying standard. What does standard mean?
Right. So when something is standard, it's referring to a normal kind of version. It's general or it's common.
Mm-hmm.
So in the U.S. or in a lot of countries, you'll see these standardized tests. And these are the normal general tests that students have to take at some point in time.
That's true. In the U.S., in the undergrad, they have to take the SATs and in the past also the ACTs.
Right, right. Oh, boy, do I remember those. But moving on, it says, yeah, you need these tests to evaluate applicants. Mm-hmm. So if we break these two words, look at evaluate. When you evaluate something, you're kind of judging it. You're assessing it based on certain information.
Yeah.
Right? So here they're evaluating applicants maybe based on the scores, the test scores that they receive or grades that they've received in classes.
Yeah. And the applicants are people who apply for it. So people who apply for anything, whether you're applying for a grant, a visa, a job, a program.
Exactly. Later on, Na says, don't be discouraged. You can do this. So the word discouraged, this means disappointed. And if you look at the word discouraged and kind of break that apart, the word courage, right, it means to have confidence, to do something.
Have some hope.
Right, right. And when you put the word dis in front of it, it means that you're lacking that courage. You're kind of deprived of it in some way, the hope.
So don't get let down. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't get rid of that. Don't get rid of the confidence.
Right, right.
Ting follows by saying, oh, look, it says I need to submit an essay with my application. So we already spoke a little bit about submit, but to submit something is to enter, to give, to send in, to turn in.
Right, right. And you can submit essays, school papers, work, or in the work environment, you can submit projects or assignments, right?
Yeah, if you go to the doctors, you can submit blood samples if you're getting different tests done.
Exactly. Just basically giving in that blood sample, entering it. And the word essay here, now this is kind of a paper, right? This is a written paper on a certain topic usually.
Na says, essay topics can vary by schools, but usually universities want to learn more about you as a person and your reasons for wanting to attend their school. So to attend something, that's to, to be part of, it's to want to become a member of.
Right. It could even mean to go to something.
Yeah.
Right? So when you attend their school, you go to their school, you're part of that school. But similarly, you can also attend an event, right? Attend a dinner, attend a networking event.
Attend a recital.
Attend a recital,
Attend
right.
a concert.
Right. It just means you're going to it, you're being a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, Na says, and don't forget about your letters of recommendation. Now, a letter of recommendation is usually a formal letter written by someone who knows you, right, and knows you pretty well. In this context, they could be referring to a teacher that she had in the past. But oftentimes when you apply for jobs, you might need a letter of recommendation from your old boss or a colleague.
Yeah. And these are generally people who want to say good things about you. You're not going to ask a letter of recommendation from somebody you don't have a good relationship with because you want them to praise you in this letter of recommendation.
Right. These letters of recommendation help you to get into these schools or programs or to get a job. Afterwards, Na says, yeah, so when the time comes to submit your online application, you can ask these people if they'd be willing to write a letter of recommendation. So what's she talking about here when she says, when the time comes?
So when the time comes refers to kind of a specific moment or a certain time frame of when something can happen.
Right. It's the right or necessary time.
Yes.
Right? So then in this case, they would know when the online application, when that date is. And around that time, this is when she might be asking for letters of recommendation.
Yeah, you don't need to ask somebody, a teacher at the very beginning of the semester, can I have a letter of recommendation? When, number one, the deadline is months away, and number two, they probably don't know you that well yet.
It's a great point. I might even say, for example, around Christmas time or before Christmas time, I could say, I'm really looking forward for when the time comes to do Christmas shopping. So this would probably imply that I might start around, late November or December because that's when the right time would be.
In that sentence, when they say be willing to, that means it's a casual way of having a spoken agreement. So if you're moving apartments, you might ask your friends, hey, would you be willing to help me move to my new apartment? Would you be willing to help me pack my boxes?
Right. This is, like you said, it's pretty casual and usually more in spoken form. And it really literally means, will you do something, right? When we said they'd be willing to do something, it's the same meaning, really. Now, at the end, Na says, true, but it'll give you a sense of the study load at the graduate school level. Now, when she uses the word sense, right, it'll give you a sense. This is basically saying it'll give you a feeling and it'll give you an idea of something, right?
Yeah, give you a little sample of something.
Right. And you're using your senses, right? This could be, based on previous experience or your research. You might kind of form some thought or idea, and this is kind of your sense.
Yeah. How does it feel to you?
Right. Now, the phrase study load, now this word usually can be interchanged with the workload.
Or course load.
Yeah, exactly, the course load. And this is basically saying what is the amount of work that I can expect in the program.
Yeah. Sometimes there are classes where you go to the first class and you're like, wow, this looks like a lot of work. The course load is really heavy. And if you're writing a thesis or doing other big projects at the time, maybe you can't take that class because combined with the rest of your work is just too much.
Exactly. That's a great point. So now, having kind of gone through some of these words and phrases, let's have a listen to the dialogue again.
It says I need to include my GRE scores on the application. What's the GRE?
The GRE is an admission test that American graduate schools use to evaluate applicants.
Oh no, not another exam.
Don't be discouraged. You can do this. You can even borrow my old test prep books.
Thanks. Oh look, it says I need to submit an essay with my application.
Yeah, essay topics can vary by schools, but usually universities want to learn more about you as a person and your reasons for wanting to attend their school.
Okay, I can easily do that.
And don't forget about your letters of recommendation.
What do I need to do that for?
Well, first you need to think of a few people who can say positive things about you and reasons why you'd be a good student for graduate school.
Okay, like my professors?
Yeah. So when the time comes to submit your online application, you can ask these people if they'd be willing to write a letter of recommendation.
Wow, I sure have a lot to do if I want to apply to graduate school.
True, but it'll give you a sense of the study load at the graduate school level.
So, after hearing that dialogue a second time, it kind of got me thinking about the requirements for a lot of other things, not just the requirements for an application process.
Right, right. That's a great point because I think it's also important for potential students to keep in mind that they will have their own requirements, right?
Mm-hmm.
Schools will always have their requirements regarding grades, GPA, scores, test scores, and this kind of thing. But what do you, as a potential student, what are your requirements for attending a certain school, right? It's not going to be just the school itself, but maybe the environment, the culture, right? If you're moving to a new country or city, the people, language,
Yeah.
these kinds of things.
Certainly. Different opportunities, too. And the requirements also, like even for talking about jobs, if you're in an interview, they're interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them. Are they what you want? Is this school what you want?
Right, right. It's a two-way street, as we would say. Those things go
Exactly.
both ways. Well, that's it for today's lesson. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.